Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm hopping on here today with day 2 of my Boardwalk Fun cards. And I just want to let you know that we're underneath the thunderstorm watch, and now that I've started the live, I hear thunder rumbling. So if something happens and I lose my electricity, I will come back later today and finish, but hopefully that does not happen. You just never know here in Missouri with spring thunderstorms how bad or how I can't think of a word, but sometimes they're not as bad as they say they're going to be, because it's just the weather. It decides. So I hope you're having a good day. We're going to do day 2 today of the Boardwalk Fun stamp set and dies. These are the dies. I just want to show everybody again. And then here's the stamp set. And I'm going to do like an extra card today after we finish this one, because I had this idea this morning. And so I thought, well, I will just try it live and we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. All right, so this one's going to be done in Coastal Cabana, which is one of my favorite colors. When I lived in Indiana, my stamping room was this color, because it's a nice bright color. And again, we're using the Ferris wheel and the roller coaster. So we're going to take our Coastal Cabana cardstock, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 like usual. And our bone folder. Now I did get some glue on here that made a little spot, but it's going to be okay because I'm going to cover it up. And the first thing we're going to put on there is this is another piece of the DSP that comes with this suite. And it looks more like a sky with different colors in it. It's balmy blue and I think like a light timid tiger and some petal pink in there. So we're just going to glue this down to our base. We're not going to glue it down yet because we still have to stamp the roller coaster. So this is another one where I can show you how to use the new Stampin' Positioner. I really find this positioner so easy to use and it works so well. So here we go. We're going to take this piece. There's these little posts right here that hold on the grid paper, and I'm going to push it right up to that so that if something happens and my paper moves, I can kind of get it lined back up again. And then I'm going to line it right up with the 2-inch line. I'm going to put my magnets on there. And again, just because sometimes it's not as sticky as it was when I first used it, but sometimes when you first use a photopolymer stamp, it's very sticky and it likes to bring the paper up. So I got out one of my magnets from my Stamparatus, because it's just such a big stamp. I think that if it was a smaller stamp, it wouldn't make as much difference. But this one being as long and as big as it is, you kind of want to be sure that it stays down after you stamp it. So we're going to lay this first. I was trying to set out. We're going to lay this right at the very bottom here. We're going to get it lined up. And it does kind of go a little bit longer than the paper, by maybe like 1/4 of an inch. So I want to get this whole side, and we'll make this side where we're going to put the Ferris wheel come off the paper. And then I'm going to add my plate on the top, put these little holes over those posts, pick up the stamp, See, it's not, when I first did this, it wanted to lift all the paper. And I'm going to find my Coastal Cabana ink. I have a stack of ink pads here next to me because I've been working over the weekend and everything on these cards. And I decided to just leave out my colors because I'm going to be doing them. Now I just stuck my nail in the ink. Let me get that off before I end up getting it all over the card. Okay, we're going to hook this back up again. We're going to lay this down. We're just going to kind of rub. You don't even have to rub as hard as you used to with the Stamparatus. And it comes out perfect. So very nice. We're going to clean this because we're going to use it again for the bonus card that I'm going to do in a different color. Let me get out my spongy chamois cleaner, which is very stained from using it so often, but it still works very good. And I'm just going to take this off and set this aside because we will need it for the next card. Okay, now here's the Ferris wheel. This time I cut the Ferris wheel out in, I'm trying to remember if it was gray granite or smoky slate, but I'm pretty sure it's gray granite. Smoky slate is just a little bit lighter, just for a contrasting color. And I'm going to glue this right here in front. I've already added some little cars so that, excuse my dog, because now some dogs are barking outside. I'm not sure why. But I didn't want to take all the time it takes to put those cars on and just have you watch that. So I did that earlier. And I also cut out the circle to put in the middle. And a gold star for the middle. So let's get these put on. It's amazing how I could barely hear dogs barking in the background outside, and he perks his ears up and has to talk to them or something. So I'm going to put this star right here. If you're watching, if you could comment, that would be great. I hope I will see it. I don't know why. The last week or so, I don't see my comments until I finish the video, and then they pop up. And I don't know how to fix this, but I do want to start doing my videos live on YouTube, but I need 8 more subscribers. So if you're watching on YouTube, because when I finish these, I always load them up to YouTube because they only last 30 days on Facebook now. So I load them up to YouTube. But if you could subscribe, I just need 8 more, and then I can do lives from Facebook, and I won't have to download them and switch them over to YouTube. And that will be a great help for me. Plus, maybe I'll be able to see my comments again. So, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Nana's Stampin' Room, just like my Facebook page. We're going to add this to our card front now. And I also cut out the cars for the roller coaster right here. If you wanted to, you could use your adhesive sheets to do these cards. And that would be an easy way to get it to adhere to the card front. But I just kind of use a few drops of glue. There we go. Now we're ready to put this onto the card base. Again, I didn't put any ribbon on this because I really couldn't decide where to put a ribbon because I don't even really have like a label for the greeting. Oops. I don't know if you can hear the thundering outside, but it's thundering pretty good now. It's that rolling thunder instead of just like one big loud boom. It's just kind of rumbling. And then I have my Celebrate that I'm going to put up here in the corner. We were supposed to get severe weather yesterday late afternoon and early evening. And some people around us did, but we here in St. Robert, we only had maybe like 15 minutes of hard rain. And not the hail and everything that they were predicting. So now we have Celebrate there. This is our inside. And I'm going to put the 2 palm trees on the inside like I did yesterday. I just re-inked my pads, so they're looking really dark. So I'm just going to do this second generation. I'm trying to find a piece of scrap paper here where I could stamp off. Here's one. Excuse my notes. Sometimes when I'm watching a video, I write down the measurements so I can try it out. Okay, so now we're going to put these. I didn't quite get that one all the way down there, so let's try again. Except for unless it's going to show through. I'll get out my eraser later for that. One more time. There. That looks better. Sometimes when you first re-ink your pads, they get very dark. It doesn't look so bad out here, but in here I thought it matches much better than this one I did. This is still kind of the dark. I mean, it's still the same color, just a darker shade of it. And then I have my embellishments here. I know if you've been watching me, but I use these passport holders to put my embellishments in. And that way I have them in a little basket that you can flip through like this, and I don't have to worry about them falling off or having to, you know, just have them in like this, and sometimes they get stuck together. So we're going to just take, I thought these kind of matched the petal pink color here. It's my goal lately to try to use up some of my older retired embellishments just so I can have room to put new embellishments in my little basket. So there we are. This one was a quick and easy card, but it just shows off both the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel. I think it'll make a great birthday card. Or you could even celebrate a graduation or different things, or maybe a retirement to say enjoy the ride on the inside. So let's move on to the bonus card that I said I was going to make. I'm going to set these aside. Oh, you might have heard that one. It's getting louder and closer. So this time I used some, this is for the envelope. I used some paper from the Everyday Skies DSP, which I know is retired now, but I still had some left over, and I just wanted to try something with a dark color. So I have a Night of Navy card base. I have this that I want to put on the bottom just to make it look like the ground, so that the Ferris wheel, not the Ferris, we're going to do the roller coaster, doesn't look like it's floating in space. So we're just going to put this piece down here. This is a new bottle of glue, so it's very thick, because you barely have to squeeze it to get it to come out. Let me pick this up here, and I just need to trim off this little spot here. There we go. So we need our Stampin' Positioner back, because we're going to do the roller coaster. I have it right here. You'll see in a moment why I want to use the darker paper. So this time I'm going to line it up just like I did last time, up at the pegs at the 2 mark. Put the magnets on. Now this time I'm going to have to reset it, because I want it to go right onto this, I will call it brown or Cajun Craze strip. So that looks good. Everything's good. I'm going to pick it up now with the top plate. I'm going to lift it up slowly. Hopefully I didn't have any glue down there. It's really sticking now. I guess I should have waited a little bit to the glue dried more. Then I'm going to get my Versamark pad here. And first I'm going to use my embossing buddy and kind of wipe this here in case we have any static. Then I'm going to place this on top. And I'm going to cross my fingers that it works. And I got it very good with the Versamark, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if you've got your Versamark on there, because it's so hard to see, but it looks like it's pretty good. I might do it one more time just to be sure. Just because this is such a big stamp. Just lightly rub over there. Pick it up slowly. I might have to change my grid paper because now I got glue on it. I'm going to lay it in my embossing tray here. Well, I'm really going to have to be careful not to get any white embossing powder down here, because it's very sticky from the glue. I'm going to take my embossing buddy and kind of go over this glue a little bit, because sometimes you can get the stickiness to go away with your embossing buddy. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to lay it in here. We're going to get our white embossing powder. going to put this all where we think it is because it's so hard to see where it actually is. And we're going to dump it off this way so that we don't get any down at the bottom where that glue is. So I did pretty good. I'm just kind of missing right here and right down here. Oh, so it must not have, well, you know what? I'm going to, later on after this, I'm going to cut out a Ferris wheel and put it on to hide where I didn't get it right there. That's the one thing about using Versamark. It's hard to tell if for sure you got all the pieces. So let me go heat this up and we'll just see how this turns out. Let me set this aside. It turned out very good except for the spot where the Versamark didn't take. So, I'm thinking if I cut out a Ferris wheel, you just be patient here. I will cut out a Ferris wheel really quick. And we'll see if we can kind of hide what color should we make our Ferris wheel be. I think I'll cut the Ferris wheel out in white. Then it will kind of match the roller coaster. The reason I used one of the Everyday Skies DSP for this one is because I wanted a dark color so the white would really pop. I just have to clean out all these little pieces out of the Ferris wheel. I could have used my brush, I didn't think about it. Okay, let me get all these little pieces out of the way. See, another little piece. So I think that will it doesn't hide it completely, but it doesn't make it as noticeable as without it on there. Kind of looks like there's a tree back there, maybe. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue down this Ferris wheel, and I'll put the cars or seats or whatever you call the Ferris wheel things. I don't know if you call them cars or seats or Ferris wheel seating. So I'm just going to add this right here over it. And now it's raining. And I cut out some of the roller coaster cars and I made them be gold. Again, you could use your adhesive sheets for these, which would make them a little bit easier to put on there. I just always forget until I'm putting on these little drops of glue to use my adhesive sheets. I don't know if they're going to glue to the embossing. They should glue to the embossing part. I just have to let them dry a little bit. Maybe they won't. Let me put a little bit more glue on here. I didn't think about the embossing powder being a different surface to try to glue to. We'll try again. This is what happens when you decide to make a card for the first time on a live video instead of practicing. Things may not work out how you think they're going to. I think these are going to stick if I just leave them alone. And like I said, I'll make these little cars be gold also to kind of make them go together. And I think that would have a card. I guess what I could do too is I could cut out a palm tree and put it behind there. But I kind of think that just looks like some trees back there when you look through there and see those shadows. And later on I can think if I want to put some more things on here. But I think for right now I'm just going to leave a greeting off. And use some of these more orangish embellishments to go on this one. I don't think this is too bad for just trying it online for the first time. And I might even put the greeting on, I might even put like celebrate on here or happy birthday and then emboss it with the white. Although I have pretty much on here now to try to put some embossing powder on it. But I could do it maybe on a Knighted Navy little label and then do it in white. And we're going to adhere it to the card. This is just a bonus for today because I knew my other card wasn't going to take too long. And I had this idea about making the roller coaster be white. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel so I can start doing my Facebook Lives. Not my Facebook Lives, my live videos on YouTube. Then maybe I can see the comments again because I miss seeing the comments while I'm working. Have a great afternoon. Happy stamping. Bye.